Good plan. Whoa, look out!
Oh.
The heavier moisture.
Oh my gosh, wait, here comes Indy.
Oh,
How do people usually start cooking videos? Is it like a kitchen tour? My kitchen's not very big, so.
Yeah, my kitchen tour will be like 10 seconds done. My name is Stephanie. I'm a dietitian. I specialize in nutrition, evidence-based nutrition for women's health particularly, but really I see men as well. But it really focuses on improving fertility, PCOS management, that's mostly obviously for women, and also endometriosis in women as well. And I also work with women who are pregnant and also in postpartum. So we are cooking plant-based butter chicken. So what we need is, so we're making the curry sauce today, and then we're going to be serving it on top of brown rice. So I just wanted to highlight, so this is a vegan-based recipe. A lot of curries use coconut oils and coconut milk. I would very much encourage people to reduce that in their diet. We know that even though it's a plant-based food, coconut-based products are about 90 to 95% saturated fat. And we know that diets high in saturated fat are not good for mental health, but also just for our general health as well, and increases risk of cardiovascular disease. And so the recipe actually starts with cooking brown rice, and it uses the absorption method, which means that once the water has been absorbed, you then just fluff it up, take it off the stove, and it's done. You just let it there.
The absorption method sounds like how I tried to get through university.
But now we just need to make the curry. So now we will heat the, you can have a pot, or you could have a wok, or anyway, something that's a bit large. And we want to have the mushrooms, and we want to saute them, and then we're going to put them in a bowl. Oyster mushrooms are recommended because they have a specific flavor, texture, sorry, it's kind of meaty. But you can use any mushrooms, to be honest, if you want.
What first got you passionate about nutrition?
Really always liked food and cooking, and I grew up in a house, Mediterranean house, where we always cooked a lot, and I always watched my mum cook. Yeah, and it's also, eating is like a very social occasion. It bonds people together. It's very cultural. You know, if you think about, I'm going to learn culture, you normally learn about their food or try a dish. I really like chemistry, and it's very much all about biochemistry. I'm now going to start sauteing my mushrooms. So I'm just adding like a little bit of water to the pan.
Yep.
I'm letting the pan just get a bit warm. Again, you can use some olive oil there if you want to use olive oil, maybe like a tablespoon.
What the saute?
Just fry. Pan fry.
Yeah, and then we just wait for them. And then once they're finished cooking, we'll put them in a side bowl so we can continue cooking everything else. The secret, again, you might know this, but the secret to actually peeling it quickly is just to squash it with a knife, and it quickly takes off all the outside of it. So and then you just chop the sides off, and then you just cut it. But to be honest, you don't have to crush it, you can just finely chop it, that's okay too.
How do you make sure to look after yourself besides focusing on what you eat?
Yeah, I suppose movement, is really important too. So it also helps a lot with mental health, particularly during COVID at this time. So I personally at the moment I'm doing, I also normally during COVID do yoga. But yeah, I do yoga, and I find that really it helps a lot with my mental health and how I'm feeling. Also, I don't know about you guys, but I sit down at a desk a lot of the time, so it kind of makes me really stiff, and I need to stretch out my hips. So that's what I do. I just finished the mushrooms and I put them into a bowl, so I just did that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I also normally do some HIIT training or some circuit training during the week, outside, outdoors, like in a group session. Yeah, and then trying to stay connected with family and friends during Zoom, like yourself, Henry, you know, in your everyday and keeping up routine. That's actually one of the biggest things with the, you know, whether it's during COVID or not. Yeah, for me, that's like going for a walk in the morning or doing yoga in the morning, and then going for a walk with dogs and getting a coffee and then starting my day. Yeah, on Tuesdays, I like to go into the Queenvic market and cycle in and buy some food if I have time on Tuesdays, if we haven't done it on the weekend. But yeah, but now I'm going to add in the onion, garlic and ginger. So I mixed all those. So we need about half an onion or one onion. You can do as much as you want, but I put a whole onion, but you need about half an onion. 1 garlic clove and about half a tablespoon of fresh ginger, grated, or you can just mince it or dice it with that. But I'm using plant-based because plant-based diet is what's going to be the most beneficial for mental health. And
why is that?
Because it's lower in saturated fat, lower in processed sugars or added sugars, and highest antioxidants. And high and adequate in protein. I just want to highlight though as well that plant-based diet is a way of eating. So, you know, unlike veganism or a vegan diet where there's no animal-based products, plant-based eating can include meat. So it's actually a range. So plant-based eating can include people who have meat and chicken or fish and dairy and eggs in their day, or maybe even half the week, or to the other end of the scale where people are actually vegan as well, so they never have any animal-based products. So we need to caramelize the onion, caramelize the garlic. So that means that it gets brown, a bit soft, a bit translucent. The next step is to add in the chili.
Yep.
So we want to add in about half a green chili. And then we also want to add spices. So we're going to add 2 cloves, half a cinnamon stick, about a teaspoon of turmeric, 2 cardamom pods. Now I haven't got cardamom pods, I've got cardamom ground, so it's not what I use. And some chili powder. So the first thing is the chili. So we want a half a chili, depending on how hot you want it.
I'm working on a few. Do you want to see the fermentation station? Here we go. This is this is my kombucha, and this is tepache, which is like Mexican pineapple fermented stuff.
Yum. Then you want about half a cinnamon stick, or maybe, just a handful of cinnamon spice if you don't have a stick. And then add in 2 whole cloves, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, 2 cardamom pods. And if you don't have cardamom pods, I just put in a dash of cardamom, like half a teaspoon, and also half a teaspoon of chili powder.
Yep.
And just stir it on. You then add about half a tablespoon, which I think is about maybe 2, I put in 2 dates, 2 dried dates, and add them to the mix as well. So that's going to give it a bit of a sweetness to balance all the spices. Yeah, it's very aromatic. So again, if the mixture is too dry, that's okay. Just put some more water.
Sorry, I'm just adding.
Oh, you pepper sprayed yourself. Are you someone who puts stuff away as you go along, Henry, or do you like do everything at the end of at the end?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not someone who puts stuff away as they do it. I'm a big soaking person. You know, I think something. Oh, look, that soak for a few days.
Yeah, I definitely like to put stuff away because it makes me feel like, I don't know, there's space, so I'm able to think more about what I'm doing. Liquid. So the next bit is adding either 1 cup of passata, which is like tomato sauce, or a tinned chopped can of tomatoes.
100% Italian tomatoes.
Perfect. Me too. They're on the same wavelength.
Oh, there we go.
You can obviously make your own if you like. You can just squash some tomatoes and you can have them diced or whole, it doesn't really matter.
How much do I add? Sorry?
The whole tin. Yeah, normally about 400 grams. Yeah.
I've got a really big tin, so I might do half.
Oh, yeah, half.
And then after that, we actually need to add in the mushrooms back in. And once that's well combined, I'm going to add in the cooked mushrooms already back into the mixture. So if you can see, the mushrooms are cooked, but they've got still kind of like a meaty texture.
Yep.
And it kind of resembles the chicken when it's cooked.
Meaty texture is the name I used to dance under.
Rinsing all the chickpeas.
Okay, mushrooms are in. Sorry, what was the next?
Now it's the chickpeas.
Now it's the chickpeas. Yes.
Just to give you over the recipe, so once we've added the chickpeas, we then need to add in the milk. We want to use a plant-based milk that's not coconut. So you can use almond or soy milk.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to use so soy milk is the closest to milk, cow's milk, and it is also the highest in nutrition for protein and calcium.
Yeah.
So soy milk would be good, but I personally also like almond milk with a nutty flavor. So what I would suggest is buying the high protein almond milk, and Vitasoy and Sanitarium are the best ones because they are actually supplemented with other things. Just because you buy plant-based milk, just make sure that it's supplemented, especially at least with calcium. And if anything else is even better.
What do you think the main things people should look out for in their diet are?
Making sure that you get 2 fruit a day, about 5 serves of veggies at least a day. So what that means is 1 cup of raw or half a cup of cooked veggies, and at least 1 cup of those should be green-based vegetables like broccoli or bok choy or silver beet or kale or spinach or Brussels sprouts or green vegetables are quite high in phytochemicals, but also they're quite high in antioxidants. They're really good for hormone regulation. And also just get a variety. Yeah, another thing is when you have a meal, try to have at least 3 different types of vegetables in the plate. Another point is to make sure every time you eat there's a protein in there. So whether the protein is animal-based, maybe it's like eggs, dairy, or meat or fish, or if it's plant-based like nuts, seeds, soy, tofu or soy milk, or tempeh maybe, or legumes or lentils. Yeah, make sure that there's always, whenever you're eating something, whether it's a main meal or a snack. So we just, once we've added the milk, the plain milk, we just have to let it simmer on low for a few minutes, just so it kind of thickens and gets through. So the last bit is adding some baby spinach through there as well. We add the baby spinach last because it wilts pretty quickly. Spinach is high in vitamin C, also it is an iron source, which is really good. But vitamin C is heat sensitive, so there will be less vitamin C in there than if we were to eat it raw, but it doesn't mean there won't be any. But it's fine. It doesn't have to be this. Yeah.
Okay. Steph, what do you think makes people develop unhealthy relationships with food?
It's multifactorial.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, probably starts in childhood where we tell children that they need to eat everything that's on the plate, or they need to eat their main meal if they want to get something sweet, or the dessert. That kind of brings up the notion that whatever they're having for a main meal is like the penalty, and the dessert is the good stuff. That whenever we want, something bad happens or we do something good, we get sweets. Again, that's normally childhood. It's kind of promoting that the good stuff is maybe the processed foods and everything else is not so great. It also kind of promotes that the messaging of the good and bad foods, when everything we want really is, everything is a good and bad food. Everything provides nutrients in their own way. It's just some maybe is better for our bodies more regularly than others, but all food is good. Also, society kind of very much doesn't help, with promoting certain products or supplements or body image as well. It's not very, doesn't pertain to all variety of bodies in the world as a healthy thing. We just want the fit look or the thin look, and that's going to be for guys and girls. And also that kind of leads to restrictive eating and a few other problems. So that's true. Also marketing, if you have the protein powder, or if you buy this high protein bar or whatever the product is going to be healthy. Whereas really, if we just maybe have more veggies, more fruit, eat a variety of different foods more across the food groups, we'll doing much better. Just like even the social things of not eating at the kitchen and maybe eating in front of the TV. That also doesn't help. Like having time, stitching up, socializing with people that you're living with or maybe by yourself, and appreciating what you're eating, and like having a bit of chill time is really important too. Once the spinach is wilted, you can just turn that off, it's ready. And then to serve, you can, if you would like, and if you like coriander, if you're one of those people that like coriander, you can just add a handful of coriander. I'm just going to plate it up now.
Yeah, Instagram shot.
So normally, look, if you go for a serve of rice, it's normally half a cup of cooked rice is normally a serve. But that really depends on, if you're male or female, how much you've eaten that day, how active you've been, how tired you are.
Yeah, so all the water is absorbed and I'm just fluffing it now. It's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay, Henry!
Did you make enough for Indy, Henry?
All right,
Taste
here
test.
we go.
Okay.
Mmm.